Do you feel sometimes stuck in your business? The real reason why a lot of e-commerce brands do is not what you think. And fixing it starts by shifting your focus. One of the hardest parts in running an e-commerce store is knowing where to focus your time and resources. When sales start to stagnate, it's very tempting to look at new shiny things, like getting more traffic, try out a new tool, or look for quick fixes. But what if the real reason you feel stuck is because you're working on things in the wrong order? Most e-commerce stores don't have a clear structure guiding their growth, and therefore they guess, they experiment, and are wasting resources. Valuable resources. This video is about breaking that cycle and showing you how starting with the right priorities will unlock the results you've been chasing. Now, if you're new here, I'm Marc Uitterhoeve and I'm the CEO of Texture Agency. And we help six-figure stores get to seven figures by helping them implement the essential marketing foundations. And one of the key parts of that is that we actually help giving brands a structure that they can follow in order to get to their growth. Since we have been working for more than 8 years now with 7- and 8-figure brands, we also know how they got to where they are, and we see what kind of structure they have been using in order to get there. And actually, we've been also helping them to implement that structure to get them to grow. And we've been using that knowledge. We have kind of bundled that knowledge into a 7-figure foundations community, where we are helping 6-figure stores to implement these strategies in order to achieve that growth as well and get to that 1 million mark. Now, before I show you how to figure out what the right thing is for you to focus on right now, it's important to understand why so many e-commerce brands are struggling to grow sustainably, because understanding that problem is the key to the solution. Now, the reason why so many e-commerce brands struggle to grow sustainably is because there are so many options in the e-commerce space. For example, there's paid ads, and within paid ads, you can choose to do Google, Facebook, TikTok, and other kinds of social media. There's SEO, you can do affiliate marketing, there are influencers that you can work with, you can make product videos, you can do all kinds of things, and it makes it very difficult to decide what to do first and what is the thing that you need right now to move the needle. And without a clear structure or order of priorities, it's very easy to fall in one of these projects that you could be focusing on but shouldn't focus on. This results in a huge risk of wasting time and money on efforts that don't move the needle, simply because there are underlying problems that need to be tackled first. All these things that I've mentioned earlier, like paid ads or work with influencers, they can help you grow, but only if you have your foundations set first, if you have your basics covered. The order in which you do things matters greatly, because you wouldn't be painting the walls of your house if you don't even have a roof yet. So when it comes to growing your store, it's crucial to do the right thing first. But how do you know what the right thing is for you? Well, there's a formula, and don't worry, it's an easy one, that helps you to decide this. And it will show you where your store's weak spot is. Now let me draw this out for you. So it is basically your online revenue is made up out of your traffic times your conversion rate times your average order value times your purchase frequency. Now, there's another video where I go in more detail about this formula, and it shows you like what the power is of it. It's a really powerful formula, and it helps a lot of brands scale to that 1 million and above mark. So check out this video if you want to know more. What for now is important to know is that there are 4 levers that make up your online revenue. And most of the focus, if not almost all of the focus, is on traffic for most of the e-commerce brands. Well, they should actually be focusing on these 3. Now, don't get me wrong, if you don't have any visitors on your store, also no one can buy, right? So of course it's important that you also look at traffic. But for most 6-figure stores, they have traffic, otherwise they wouldn't be able to do 6 figures. And what they often do as an approach is, let me draw here a browser. Like, let's say that this is the website. What they're going to do is, if they want to increase their revenue, what they do is they bring more traffic to the site. But what happens is, if these foundations, if the other levers are not being worked on, what happens is that more of the traffic will just drop off and won't return. Because if you don't have your basics covered, if you don't make sure that more of the people that go to your site convert into a sale, so let me draw here a sale, then what happens is that more of the traffic that you're going to acquire is going to drop off. And that's just a waste of your money. Now, besides that, your average order value is also very important, because oftentimes it takes a lot of money and a lot of effort to acquire that customer to your website. And usually, if they buy, then most of the brands, they just break even, or they have just a little bit of profit from it. But if you are making sure that more people, if they spend more, if their orders are bigger, then you also have more margins on their orders, you have more profit. And it also makes it much more easier to scale your business. And one that is usually forgotten or even ignored by a lot of brands is the purchase frequency, also sometimes called retention. But it basically comes to the point where people are going to buy again. Now, why is this so powerful? It's because these are people that are already your customers and you're motivating them to buy again. And you kind of eliminate that acquisition cost here because you already have these people in your CRM. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to acquire them. So if you can get them to your site and they buy from you, what will happen is that you will be a lot more profitable on that sale. And that is actually, that gets you the meat on your bones. That makes sure that your profitability is higher and you will have more money to actually invest in your team so that you can hire more people on your team, and therefore you can actually let some things go because you have a lot of stuff on your plate as a founder, as an owner, or as a CEO of your business. And therefore you are working on all these different aspects of the company, and that kind of blocks you of working on the company because you're actually working more in the company. And so if you can get more people on your team, you can actually remove some pressure, you can actually delegate some tasks, and that will reduce the stress and will of course also improve your quality of life because you're not struggling with the day-to-day and making sure everything stays afloat. But because you're being more profitable, because more of the people that come to your site buy, they spend more, and they also return more frequently. Therefore, you'll be more profitable and you will have a much easier and more sustainable way of growing your business. Now, you might wonder, okay, so how does this formula then help me to decide what I need to do first? Well, the thing is that you can see for each of these levers how they are performing and what your opportunities are here. And again, the focus should be on these three because they will definitely move the needle more for you. They build your foundations on your website. So again, that when you acquire more traffic, that they don't drop off, that they don't spend only a little amount to make you just break even and they don't come back again. When you get more traffic there to your site and you make sure that these are optimized, you will get more profitable. And by knowing what you need to focus on, you can see where you are lacking some foundations, where you say, okay, we need to do a better job at making my website convert better. We are losing too many people when they are on our website, they just drop off. Or it'd be like, okay, well, we are just breaking even on those sales. We need to make sure that people are spending more in order to increase our profitability. Then you know that there is your opportunity. Or you notice that none of your customers, or only a fraction of your customers, are buying again. And therefore you need to make sure that you increase that part. So if you can do a diagnosis of your website, you can see where your priorities are and what you need to do first. And once these are set, once they are built at a good level, when those foundations are set, then it's much more easier to grow your traffic, because therefore more people will turn into customers because you will reduce these drop-offs. And therefore, what will happen is that they will also spend more and be more profitable. And that's what will help you get to 7 figures. So knowing what you need to do first really helps you move the needle. And that's also why we created the 7-figure foundations. Because in that 7-figure foundations community, what we have is we have 9 modules that actually help you establish these foundations to make sure that your basics are covered. And the beauty of 7-figure foundations is that you actually have to complete step 1 before you can do step 2. And that helps you to get that structure that you need in order to do the right things first, and that you don't skip steps and therefore are not moving the needle because you're missing some fundamentals. And when you go through each of these steps, what you'll notice is that each of these levers, your conversion rate, average order value, and purchase frequency, that they will be solid, and therefore you can grow your store faster, easier, and more profitably. Now, if you feel like you need help or you want to know how you are doing with your e-commerce store and what you need to focus on right now, feel free to schedule a call with me. We'll have a chat and see what's working for you, what's not, and maybe the 7-figure foundations program could help you with giving you the structure and getting your foundations right. And if not, then I'll always try to point you in the right direction. Now, don't forget to like this video if you thought it was insightful. And if you don't want to miss out on any other e-commerce tips or strategies, be sure to subscribe. See you next time.